All right, welcome back to part two of working on our 2016 Nissan Titan XD with the turbo Cummins. And so today we're going to be draining the oil and replacing it with this AMSOIL 100% synthetic diesel oil heavy duty protection SAE 10W30. And this is just so happens to be in a convenient size. This is how much the truck will take. And that is 2.5 US gallons or 9.46 liters with an oil filter change. And the oil filter we will be using today classifies with this part number 1520208 EZ40A. This is the oil filter we're using from Nissan. So first thing that we got to do, there's actually under panels underneath the car, so I'm gonna go take those off. I'll be right back. Alright, now that the undercarriage covers are off, we're gonna take off the drain plug bolt, which is a 13mm. Doing it with a wrench is not the easiest thing to do, so once I get this off, I'll be right back. Alright, so I've broken it free, I believe. So now I can use that 13mm wrench. We're going to just take it off the rest of the way. Now that it's finger loose, just make sure you're real careful about this, because you don't want to spill oil everywhere. There we go. Oil is draining now. And mind you guys, I did not jack up the truck. Truck is sitting flat on all fours, so it's as level as it's gonna get. So here you're gonna take your bolt and then you're just going to put it in a rag. As you guys can see, this oil, it's a fairly dark oil. But this truck's got a lot of miles on it, and you guys can see oil is quickly rising in my container. It's about 2.5 quarts of oil. But I'm just here to make sure that it does not overflow out of my container. So once I know that oil is completely drained out, then we'll be just fine. And as you guys can see, it's finishing up now. So let's get out from underneath the truck. Not so much of getting out from underneath the truck, but here we're going to, I'm going to need the tool for this, which I have just over here. But we're going to take care of the oil filter as soon as we get the drain plug back in the oil pan. So I'll see you when we're going back over to the oil pan, which happens to be right there. Alright, so now I'm putting back on the drain bolt, wiping it all off from where that oil had been draining, and then we're just going to snug this up with our wrench, and then a little bit more. So, and yes, there's a new crush washer on here, and there we go. Alright, so now we're going to move up here to the oil filter. And there's a lot of oil in from draining it, roughly 2.5 quarts or so. Seems like a lot more than that though. I mean, this is a 3-gallon container, so I should definitely have the space for it. And then make sure, so here on the truck, make sure you have one of these. Pretty sure you can take these off, but this is for when you remove this, the excess oil actually will drain onto here and then into your catch pan. So let's get that oil filter wrench. More so an oil filter gripper. One of these, which of course it's not big enough, so I gotta think of something else for that, because I physically cannot with the oil on my hand. So let me change gloves and see if I can do it. Alright, definitely can get a little bit of a better grip on it. It's moving a little bit. It's just odd having to hold the camera and this at the same time. My mistake once again, guys. I'm gonna have to fuse a couple videos together here, maybe. I'm not sure how to do that quite yet, but I totally just turned off my phone that I'm using to record this, so this is gonna be a third part upload at the same time, but I used both hands, and then now it's just turning off really easily. And then you get the oil. And then definitely wipe off that little piece there from the oil dripping down off of this. And then it'll drop right off. I'm just going to set it in my oil bucket for the moment, and I just covered my hand in oil. So I'm going to let that drip for a little bit, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so new oil filter was on. Make sure whenever you put on a new oil filter, you use a little bit of the old oil on the new O-ring so it does not go on dry. Just like that on the first episode of this with the diesel fuel on the O-rings. Same concept, just with the oil on these, which if you're changing oil, you should already know that. At least I was taught to know that on all vehicles. Alright, so now we're up here, final step, and that's filling the engine with oil. And make sure you put on the undercarriage covers if you have them. You guys can see, diesel engine oil, see owner's manual. This takes 2.5 quarts, and we are using 10W30 here. AMSOIL heavy duty protection. And it just we ordered it in a 2.5 gallon container, which works out really nice. Just pour in a whole container, check the oil, and see how it is. It should be right on the dipstick, right where we want it. So I'm gonna get a step stool here for a minute because I forgot how far it was into reach for to have to pour this big old thing of oil. So as y'all can see, taking off this, and it's sealed. Open it right up. And then we have a funnel here, so let's pour in some oil. And make sure you don't overfill like I almost did there. Just do it nice and slow. So then, once we're done with this, we're going to throw on that engine oil cap. I'm going to put on the undercarriage covers, and then I'll be back to start up the truck. Then if you do end up spilling any oil in here, make sure you clean it up. You can just wipe it out with a rag even. So, finishing out the oil here. Alright guys, so here in these two videos that I'm posting just about at the same time, we have now we have changed both fuel filters. We changed the oil filter and we changed the engine oil. So I feel pretty accomplished in this thing, or with this thing. And then I got the undercarriage covers put back on. So I'm gonna hop in the truck and we're gonna give it a good start. My guess is it's gonna take a few seconds just because the fuel system has dried. There we go. Let me block a little bit of that glare from you guys. As you guys hear now, we have successfully completed changing the fuel filters and oil filters. I will see you guys in the next episode with Austin's workshop and changing that chain on the mini bike.